selling building materials, educative articles, and where to get expert services. NTA Property Connect International Magazine is available with vendors and every NTA station worldwide. Grab a copy today. To advertise your properties, conferences, exhibitions, or sponsorship, call us on 080-6054-9808 or 080-5961-8273. NTA Property Connect, the magazine that keeps you connected.
The dismantling of roadblocks for more effective methods of policing.
IG, I thank you most sincerely for a very, very active style of command and your intellect in your profession.
The outgoing IGP, who was full of gratitude for the honor done to him by the president, attributed the pathways he created for a more purposeful, efficient, and result-oriented police force to the unprecedented support and assistance by the president.
Throughout my, tenure with him, he was my biggest, supporter. He gave me, the impetus to do whatever I was doing. When you work under some political environment, it's always, drag you here and there. But he was, always appreciating my work. He was always encouraging me. So I wanted to do more. I wanted to tell him that, yes, you had invested your confidence in me, and I was not going to disappoint you. I have not been able to sort out all the problems, but I have lit the pathways, and I am sure that whoever is coming will sustain it and even, do better.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin, who spoke on behalf of the service chiefs hosted to the breaking of the Ramadan fast by the president, restated their resolve to do everything within their power towards securing the country for the desired peace, unity, and prosperity.
And I want to use this opportunity to pledge our unalloyed loyalty, commitment, and dedication to duty to ensuring that your vision concerning this nation is attained. A vision of peace, progress, and prosperity for our great nation.
During the event, participants prayed God to grant the president and his team the wisdom, protection, and guidance towards meeting the huge public expectations. The service chiefs were the first set of Nigerians to be hosted by the president in breaking the Ramadan fast this year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In recent time, issues surrounding religion and law have become dominant matters of discourse, going beyond what was once considered a personal conviction or belief. For Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, despite the many intersections between law and religion, a clear line must be drawn to act independently. State House correspondent Jide Onifade tells us more.
Having the opportunity
life in all its social and political implications.
Expressing his views on restrictive laws in a democratic setting, the Vice President says,
I'm of the view that prior restraint is open to abuse and will unduly restrict freedom of worship and is probably unconstitutional. Freedom of speech is not only a fundamental right in its own right, but it also is the vehicle for the realization of other rights.
The Vice President in his speech says he believes so much in freedom of speech and freedom of worship, but where such believer is taking it to a destructive extremism, then there is the need for the court not to spare the rod. From the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Away from law and religion, now to digitization, Minister of Information Lai Mohammed is in Beijing to attend the China-Africa Digitization Summit with other ministers of information and television broadcasters from all over Africa. The minister was at the Nigerian mission in Beijing to share some information from home with the officials. Julieta Aino reports.
Barely 12 hours since landing in the Chinese capital, the Minister of Information Lai Mohammed did not take a break from his official mandate. From arrival at the Nigerian embassy in Beijing, which was his first port of call, the minister preached confidence in the Buhari administration. He took time to satisfy their hunger for information on the state of affairs in Nigeria and the progress so far made by the government in their efforts to fulfill campaign promises.
This government is determined, is focused to bring about that change. And that change will be in terms of better security in Nigeria, better investment climate in Nigeria, and better governance. And this is what the government has been working towards. We successfully battled insurgency. Our war on corruption is going very well. We have taken difficult but necessary steps to revamp our economy. If you look at our budget for this year, it's a budget that is concentrating more on the capital than the current. It's a budget that has a special provision for social intervention, which would help the unemployed, which will help the most vulnerable, which would make sure that everybody is included. So we simply need the support of Nigerians. The government has enough political will, enough discipline to ensure that Nigeria bounces back.
In Beijing to participate in several information and digitization conferences, the information minister said Nigeria welcomes all cooperations that can benefit the people. He advocated the need for free visa policy for tourists from other African countries.
If, for instance, Africans can come to Nigeria without any visa, it will improve the number of people that will come to Nigeria. And when they come, they will spend money. When they spend money, we can use that money also for infrastructure. We can use that money for development. All over the world, tourism contributes a lot to the GDP.
The minister and his envoy were joined by senior officials of the embassy on a visit to StarTimes headquarters in the south of the city, where he met with StarTimes President Pang Xinxin. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
And now to details of the appointment of a new IGP. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Ibrahim Potun Idris as the Acting Inspector General of Police. He is to succeed Mr. Solomon Orase, who retired this Tuesday after 35 years in service. Until his appointment, Mr. Ibrahim Idris from Niger State was the AIG in charge of operations at the force headquarters. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that President Muhammadu Buhari has met with both the outgoing and incoming Inspectors General of Police area. This was at a media launch where an overview of the 2015 general elections was presented by the National Coordinator, Joy Onyesowo, in Abuja. Lydia Basi reports.
The event was organized as part of activities geared towards women participation in the 2019 electoral process without violence, and also addressing socio-cultural norms that reduce women's capacity and well-being in the society.
We like to start early. When we give ourselves 3 years, we would work in all the 36 states across the state geopolitical.
Further in this report.
Experts also insist that the re-engineering of the institutional framework of foreign exchange transactions by the Central Bank of Nigeria will engender the injection of more local and foreign investments into the country.
The Central Bank has finally put in place a structure and a system on a platform called FMDQ that gives you a transparent bid and operate that has a market-determined rate for foreign exchange.
For me, even governments will benefit because the fiscal authorities will then have more money to share, of course, because this forest thing will then be sold at the market-determined rate.
Though in its nascent stage, the guest noted that the new
emphasized government's stand on export of steel products as one enterprise which should enjoy unfettered support. Fayemi said this during facility tours of the African Foundries Limited located in Ogijo local government area of Ogun State and Western Metal Products Company Limited at Ibafo on the same state.
You can see that even from the statement by the governor of Central Bank, that the only thing that has unfettered support is export. If you want to export, just come do your export. And you can bring all your money back without any problem.
Thank you, Olajide. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. The absence of Justice Sule Hassan of the Federal High Court, Lagos today, stalled the much publicized arraignment of the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode. He is to be arraigned for receiving money from the federal government's coffers for the campaign of former President Goodluck Jonathan in the 2015 general elections. Viera Chinwaba has the details.
The former aviation minister, Femi Fani-Kayode, was also the former director of media and publicity.
Into partnership with a private housing development company to construct 800 housing units for its members. This was further solidified by the strategic signing of a memorandum of understanding. Abolore Ogbara reports that the first set of 200 housing units will be ready in December this year.
This signing of the Memorandum of Understanding signals a big leap in the efforts by the Nigerian Union of Journalists and National Association of Women Journalists to provide affordable housing for their members.
In the last few months, a lot of our members subscribed. At the last count, they are totally about
their minds. The keynote speaker enjoined government and individuals to always carry along in all socio-economic activities persons with albinism.
The members of National Assembly are supposed to help in line in spirit of the United Nations resolution on this matter.
The child cannot be in the sun, the child cannot be left out, to play in the midday sun. The albino child cannot read as fast as the normal child. They cannot see the board from a distance. So their position in class must be.
Islam abhors violence, it abhors terrorism, it abhors any act that is indecent.
Speakers enjoin Muslim faithful to have the fear of Allah at all times, especially in discharging their civic responsibilities, and to maintain equality, accountability, and due consultation on matters that concern the nation.
We have to diversify. We don't have to look at the whole alone. We also have to look at the issue of agriculture, because that's where our money is now. If it's properly managed, that's agric and solid minerals, we make a lot of money from that.
It's always good to work as a team. When you work as a team, everything is going to work well.
The Muslim scholars admonished Nigerians to develop a higher control.
The cost of your patrols gives you an accurate way of doing things. Hitherto, where you would have ships patrolling without focus, you can sit back here and identify some vessels of interest and investigate them as well, and operations becomes more efficient.
That what the Navy has done today provides us an ample opportunity to synergize and tackle the issue of piracy and other criminal activities within our waterways.
The main control center of the project is one of 4 centers housed at the Falcon Eye system, which enables the Nigerian Navy monitor the country's waterways and the Gulf of Guinea beyond the horizon. KG Busari Ahmed, NTA News.
I'm still talking security. The air component of Operation Lafia Dole has foiled a plan by Boko Haram terrorists to ambush own surface forces harbored at Donon Naira in Borno State. In a statement signed by the Director of Public Relations and Information Group Captain Ayodele Famuyiwa, the operation was carried out by a Nigerian Air Force aircraft on intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance mission, which sighted a group of Boko Haram terrorists in 7 Hilux vehicles hiding under a tree at a location along the axis of advance of own ground forces. It says thereafter, an Alpha jet attacked the location, killing 15 of them and the whole vehicles knocked out. The casualty figure was confirmed by the ground forces. The troops also confirmed that 2 gun trucks were among vehicles destroyed by the jets, as AK-47 rifles, RPGs and cache of assorted ammunition were recovered. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRC, says it remains committed to its policy of improving the efficiency of the Corps personnel for increased productivity, as well as ensuring total security and quality service delivery. FRC Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi gave this indication while declaring open a 3-day capacity building conference at the FRC Academy, Udi in Enugu State. Saliu Abdullahi has more.
This capacity development program for intelligence officers of the FRSC is in portions of its management policy at achieving national security through diligent intelligent gathering.
And we have the resource.
The Corps Marshal charged intelligent operatives of the Corps to rise up to the task of ensuring the security of the FRSC and of the nation through diligent processing, sharing and application of its operations.
So, as we are all aware, the management is living on the tripod of consultation, reward and punishment, which entails constant interaction with staff and stakeholders at all levels, especially through training and retraining of the personnel to prepare them adequately for the tasks they carry out in our determination to serve the nation more diligently.
According to him, management attaches great importance to capacity development of staff, saying the workshop is aimed at exposing participants to the theoretical and practical knowledge of their assignments towards achieving a high level of productivity. Other speakers urged participants to remain vigilant on national security challenges and make good use of the conference. The 3-day capacity development program organized for middle-level officers drawn from the FRSC 12 Zonal Command Headquarters and the 36 states of the Federal
Network Center for details of the World Bank delegation's tour of Plateau State and other stories from that zone. Shehu is our guide.
Thank you, Olajide. Welcome to Jos. Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State says measures have been put in place to ensure that only genuine workers are paid, as government will soon commence payment of salary arrears. The governor disclosed this shortly after paying an unscheduled visit to the Joseph Komok Secretariat, Jos. Paul Dama reports.
The essence of the visit,
A 5-day workshop on genomics for doctors in the continuous fight against HIV and AIDS has ended in Jos. The workshop was organized by Harvard School of Public Health, United States of America, in collaboration with Jos University Teaching Hospital Youth and AIDS Prevention Initiative in Nigeria, EPIN. Bilkisu Nihu has the details.
Professor Phyllis Kanki from the Harvard School of Public Health said the workshop is apt because of the breakthrough recorded in medical history and urged the participants to utilize all the lessons learned.
These trainings will allow the faculty to sort of understand how to use the equipment so that they can do HIV sequence data.
Yes, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
A World Bank delegation has visited the Plateau State Fadama 3 to assess the project's level of impact on agricultural production and the implementation report of funds it received from the World Bank. Rin Retlot reports.
The assessment tour, which was led by a representative of the World Bank, Vikas Chudhari, was aimed at ascertaining the level of achievement and impact of the Fadama 3 project on rural farming and poverty alleviation in Plateau.
Policy making and practical action was the thrust of the symposium to mark World Sickle Cell Day in Abuja. It was organized by Sickle Cell and Aid Foundation in collaboration with the United States Embassy. Gabriel Odu reports.
She was born in the early 1970s, usually always sick, going to the hospital, a little too frequent, and they weren't sure what was wrong back then. Only to realize that they were both AS and she was SS. Since then, it's become a taboo in my family, knowing that you're AS, to marry another AS. She always took the right decisions, but we had to lose her 3 years ago.
At such times, always remember 3 action words. Run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous
to ensure the health and well-being of Nigerian women and children and alleviates the suffering of the less privileged, wife of the President, Her Excellency, Aisha Muhammad Buhari's Future Assured project has embarked on continuous visits and donations to orphanages, schools, internally displaced people's camps, provision of free medical screening and treatment for women and children, providing educational support, as well as seeking national and international partnerships.
Future Assured, leading the way to a brighter future.
Creating a brighter tomorrow.
With Future Assured, we can create a better future for our women and children.
Supports the cause
than ever.
Always, we have lived together as brothers and sisters since long time in Muriva, without no mind that we have spoken different languages and celebration our cultural and diversity. No bombing, no cultism, no kidnapping. Nowadays, our children are trampoline to cultists. Today, we are suspicion one another. All this notorious behavior have scattered all over Nigeria. When are you going to change? More. When are you going to stop? Terrorism are unwanted visitors. Kidnapping are criminal. Cultism are barbaric. Do not destroy this country,
or the center of purchase. For further inquiries, please call 080-6558-7730. NTA TV Colleges, training you to be the best you can be.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is NTA Nationwide. University of Port Harcourt resumes academic activities. For details of these and other stories, let's join Olga in our Port Harcourt Network Center.
Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. The University of Port Harcourt has resumed after a violent protest by the students over payment of fees, which disrupted academic activities on the campus for several months. Vivian Eziadefe reports accidents associated with petroleum tankers along major highways, especially in the South-South. The tanker drivers branch of the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers has organized a training for its members in Port Harcourt with the theme Safe Driving, Accident Effects and Prevention. Dibabari Siodoma reports.
The theme, Safe Driving, Accidents, Effects and Prevention, is aimed at training tanker drivers on safety measures as they ply the roads to deliver their products. President Nupeng Dr. Igwe Aches said the training is apt and will awaken the consciousness in tanker drivers that any careless act on the road can take their lives and the lives of others. He also urged the government to rehabilitate the roads to ease transportation of products to different parts of the country.
That as drivers, when we observe that the roads are bad, do we need to ply that road? Do we need to apply cautions in terms of managing the roads to get out of the environment? Is it that we cannot afford to use the road? Then we stay away from those roads.
Any driver will stay, holds the life of whoever is in that vehicle, including the product and himself too.
Participants at the training promised to abide by the rules and regulations for safe driving.
We also want the state government and the federal government to help us in terms of fixing the road very well, because the road is one of the major problem that caused the accidents.
Reckless driving, overspeeding, maintenance of vehicles, among other topics, were papers delivered by resource persons from the Federal Road Safety Corps, Fire Service, Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, and medical personnel in Port Harcourt. Dibabari Sidoma, NTA News.
That's all from this end. It's back to Olajide now for the rest of the news. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Moving on, soccer has now come the way of teachers and pensioners in Bayelsa State after months without salary. Civil servants and pensioners have been undergoing stringent verification to ascertain their eligibility for payment. Governor Siriake Dixon announced this today at a transparency briefing. Samuel Numanengi reports.
Governor Dixon, who made this known in a transparency briefing with stakeholders, said the state received 95 billion naira from the Federation account within the last 1 year for both the state and local government areas, said over 13 billion naira was deducted from source, with 12 billion for the local government councils. He said the state got 4.9 billion naira for April 2016 with over 3 billion naira deductions. The governor said despite all these, measures have been put in place to pay pensioners monthly allowances, ongoing salaries of teachers, while other civil servants have been paid 50% of their salaries.
Teachers are so important, particularly in our government. And we have calls to direct that this week they begin to pay their salaries for January, full salaries for January. I also directed that money will be made available for the pensions. The local government pensions and the state pensions are going on.
Governor Siraki Dixon appealed with striking Niger Delta University workers to return to work, as his government is committed to the upliftment of the education standard in the state and the welfare of Bayelsa residents. The governor also unveiled a website tagged Bayelsa Watch, where every money coming into the state and those spent will be posted. In Yanagua, Samuel Nomonengi, NTA News.
Let's join Susan at our Marketing Network Center with stories making the rounds in that zone. Hello, Susan. It's good to see you.
Hello, Olajide. Thank you and welcome.
Governor for always carrying them along and pledged their support to his administration. There were prayers for the country and the state, Quranic citation and presentation of kola nuts in Makudi, Achiglimagaji, NTA News.